Alright, welcome back again to my channel. I'm so excited that you are here and I cannot wait to teach you Scratch again today. Now in the previous videos we've done operators and variables. We've done a whole lot on Scratch. Please do well to watch those previous videos so that you can be following up on what we are doing. Now today we want to try out something. You want to do a maths game and I know you are ready and excited to try it out. So let's get coding. First we need to do is to come over here and choose a sprite. Let's choose a sprite that will be good for a math game. Let's go with Danny as our maths game. And so because we go with Danny, we have to come over here to delete sprite 1, and then we have Danny over here, and then we need to get a backdrop. Come over to this place and let's look for a backdrop. Let's go for this blue sky. So we have Danny on this part and it's going to be giving us answers to this stuff. Now we want to try out a maths game, and this time around we want to try out the pick random operator block. We've done a video on operators block. We want to try out the pick random operator block and see how we can code with it using variables. Let's get coding. Go over to your event and pick the first when click video, when the green flag is clicked. Go over to operators and pick the pick random block. Before you do that, go over to variables and pick the set my variable to number 1. So we already created a variable on number 1. Please do watch the video on variables where we created number 1, number 2 and some videos. Now go over to this place again and snap the two of them and put num2 of it, and then go over to your operators block and pick the pick random number. So we have pick random number here, and then we have pick random number 1 to 10 here as well. So that's what we're going to be doing. Now we're going to have to go back to variables and pick our sum. Then we're going to pick this and snap it here, and in this box we're going to be choosing with the sum, and then we're going to put an addition operator block here again. So we're going to have addition, which is the first block over here, and then we'll snap it gently here. Now for these variables we're going to put num1 and num2 here. So num1 is going to stay in the first circle and num2 is going to stay in the second circle. So you're going to be adding for us, and then we'll snap it in here. Now we need to also go get a question from the sensing block. So we're going to ask a question. So the variable, the sprite will ask us a question, and the question would be to what's the sum of these two numbers. So what's the sum of these two numbers? That's what we're gonna be asking us. And then we'll go over again to our variables, and we're gonna pick from our variable this sets my variable to 0. We're gonna snap it in there, and then we're gonna create a new variable known as user answer. So come over to create a variable and call it user answer. That will be the variable name we're gonna call it, and then we're gonna click enter. So that variable then created, and then we just have to unmark it so that it gets off the stage. Now we go over to pick from my variable the user answer, and then where we have the 0, we're going to snap in our answer from the sensing block gently there. So that's what we're going to be doing. And then we now have to get a loop from the control. So we're going to go to control and get a loop, and we're going to be using the if then loop. That's what we're going to be using. So the if then or else loop. So we're going to snap it here, and then we're going to snap the first. We're going to look for operators block and look for a shape that fits in this place. So we're going to look for a shape that fits here, and we're using the equals to block from the operators block, and then we'll snap it here. Now for the first shape, I'm going to be looking for sum, we're looking for some, and we're gonna snap some there, and then we're gonna be snapping the user answer there. So when we go to variables, we'll have sum that will be added here, and we'll have user answer that will be also added here. That is if it's summed is equals to the user number, then it would tell us that the answer is correct. So it says, go to loops and pick there, says correct, and then we'll pick it here again and snap it here, and you're going to tell us incorrect. Then we have 5 seconds. We have 5 seconds to make it stay longer on the stage. So let's try this out quickly. So we'll just go over to our variables and mark num1 and num2, so it's going to be visible on the stage, and then we'll go over here and drag them, or we're going to drag num1 on his left and num2 on his right. And so we're going to right click on it and choose large readout, and click on this num1 on the right click again and choose the right readout. You click and drag a little bit closer. So this is going to be a math game, and we're ready to try it out. So if we're going to click on this, it's going to pick a random number for us from 1 to 10, and so it's going to ask us to add it. So what's the sum of these two numbers, 6 and 10? So the answer is 16, and so when we click enter, it tells us correct. You ever seen that? So we'll try it again. So when we try it again, it gets us a different number from the one he's given to us in the first place. Asks us what's the sum of these two numbers, 4 and 5, and we say 9, and it tells us correct. So if let's say we try out something wrong by putting up a wrong number deliberately. Let's say what's the sum of these two numbers, 8 and 1, and let's say deliberately we put a wrong number, a wrong answer, let's say 6, it will tell us that is incorrect. So it tells us incorrect. Do you see it? So this basically is a simple maths game that you can actually try out and get better in maths. You can come over to pick random and change it from 1 to 10 to give you numbers from 10 to 100, so that you can actually get better in maths if you are good with that of 1 to 10, so that it gets to give you numbers from 10 to 100. So when we click on the green flag, you see that the answers that it will give to you will now be falling between 10 to 100. I have 58 and 17. What is the sum of the numbers? And then you just do the calculation and you fix it. If you put a wrong number, for instance, it tells you incorrect. So that's basically how to code a maths game. I believe you find this so interesting, and I know, yes, that you are trying it out. Please let me know in the comment section what you think about this video. Please do well to like, share, and do well to please subscribe. It means a whole lot to me. Please do well to subscribe to this video. See you in the next video. We'll be trying out new things on Scratch. See you then.